My name is Birthroad, and today we're going to be talking about anime that need to be remade. Now, first of all, I just want to say that anime that have been announced to get a remake will not be featured on here because, well, they obviously don't need to. They're getting a remake soon, so those don't need to be talked about. But we're going to start with the honorable mentions. Now, the reason I have these in honorable mentions is because the shows are peak the way they are now, but a reanimation would be kind of cool to see, right? So I have Naruto, the original Dragon Ball, Death Note, Code Geass, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Trigun. Again, none of those shows need a remake or anything like that, but just to see newer animation in those shows would be pretty cool, right? But we're about to move on to the actual list. If you enjoy anime content, think about hitting the subscribe button down there. It helps me out a lot. Let's get straight into it. So first off, we have One Punch Man. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, why does this need to be remade? You know, it looks great and things like that. A lot of problems. The manga for One Punch Man is great, and it's not just Season 3. I know a lot of people are probably going to say that, like, oh, the reason why is because of Season 3, which, yes, Season 3 is the main thing. It is absolutely terrible and honestly ruins One Punch Man. But another thing is, this show came out 11 years ago, and we have 36 episodes. It's honestly unacceptable, and any fan base it's had has just been killed along the years by how slow it's releasing, and then how bad it is compared to the source material. I don't understand what they were thinking with One Punch. I really don't get it. Season 1 was great, and then they're like, Season 2, let's wait 6 years to drop it, and then it's going to be a setup season, which is fine. And then Season 3 comes out, the thing that we wanted the payoff for. We get none of the payoff. It's absolutely terrible. They went to a new studio. It also took like 5 years to do. Absolutely ridiculous. One Punch Man, they just need to start over, honestly. It's terrible what they have done to that story. Next, we have an anime I have talked about a lot on here, and I even made a video on it that did pretty well that you guys seem to enjoy, and that is The God of High School. It doesn't follow the manhwa very well at all, honestly. It cuts out so much stuff. It is paced at 10 times the speed of the manhwa, which is already paced incredibly fast, by the way. Absolutely just terrible decision making there. The animation and stuff in it is cool, and you get somewhat of the story from it in the anime. And surprisingly, it's still pretty decent. Now, imagine if they actually adapted it correctly. This show would be awesome. I think people would love it. I'm not saying it'd be like the best anime ever or anything, but I think it would be regarded as a very, very good anime rather than what it's regarded as now, which is just, it's decent. You know, I think the God of High School remake would absolutely bang. I think the only problem with it is it's obviously not getting any more material, so I don't know if the hype is really there for any studio to want to go and pick this up, but it is absolutely deserving of so. It is a fantastic story and is honestly such a disappointment that they did what they did with it. Moving on, next we have GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka. Now this one has a lot of issues. One, not only is it really old, so it could do with new voice actors and new animation and things like that, although the voice acting back then is pretty solid. There is a lot of other issues in GTO that need to be fixed. One, the anime is just taken from the middle of the fucking story. It's not at all how the story starts. It's not at all how the story finishes. It's just smack dab in the middle of Onizuka's story, Onizuka's life. It is not, I don't know. I mean, obviously this show was one of those anime that was made to like promote the manga, but I think, you know, having the actual manga be turned into an anime would be fantastic. If you don't know, it is actually a very long, ongoing manga series. Sorry, I don't know what that was. And yeah, it has a lot of incredible moments in there. It has some great storytelling in there. And we really got none of that. We really just got a lot of the humorous aspects. There was some storytelling in the show, and I did think it was good. But the amount that is missing from it is absolutely ridiculous, and I honestly want to say they didn't even try, to be honest with you. This adaptation was very terrible, but it was done by Perriot, so it makes sense. But we will move on from GTO. Again, has a lot of issues, but it could really use a remake. And we will move on to D. Gray Man. This is a show for me that I started watching because I heard it was decent from some people. And I watched it and I was like, it's really not that good. And it's not because the story's not good or the characters aren't really that good or anything. It's just really the way it was handled. The animation in it is very, very basic. It doesn't really look special at all. Every character, you know, with the unique designs that they actually have, they look so boring in the anime. The voice acting is absolutely terrible. The music is horrendous other than like some of the intros, but like the OST is awful. The fights aren't even that good or anything. It's just very poorly animated as well, not even animated in any sort of high quality. It also suffers from very bad pacing issues. Obviously, there's filler there, which, you know, obviously you could skip filler, but still, filler takes up a large majority of this show. The pacing issues in the show are not very good. it has a lot of issues that could just be resolved in a remake. I genuinely think reading the manga of D. Gray Man is 1,000% way more worth your time than the anime. I thought it was done very poorly, and it could really use a remake. And then lastly, the last show I have on here that I think deserves a remake, and I've been very critical of this, is Monster. I think Monster is a fantastic story, and, you know, when I started watching Monster, I never really heard any of the issues the show had. Everybody's just like, oh, Monster's great, Monster's great. It has a lot of issues that could really be solved from a reanimation, honestly. And the biggest issue with Monster is the pacing is terrible. It is one of the worst paced shows I have ever seen in my entire life. There are whole episodes dedicated to just making Tenma look like a nice guy, which is great and all, but I think by episode 20, we know he's a nice guy, and you're going into the 30s and 40s, and you're still getting full-on episodes of just Tenma being a nice guy. We get it. Tenma's a nice guy, all right? There doesn't need to be 30 reiterations of the same episode with a different story. I get it. He helps the old couple. I get it. He helps a town. I get it. He helps save these people. We get it. He's a good guy. Not really necessary, in my opinion, for the anime. I think it drags it out incredibly long, and it wouldn't even be that bad if there was more things happening, but in those episodes, that is all it is. For example, the episode where he fixes the couple's car with that needs gas or whatever, that is the whole episode. Their car breaks down, he goes and gets some gas. They're like, oh, he was a murder suspect, but he's nice. I think Tenma's a good guy. That is the whole episode. Over 20 minutes of an anime episode is just him filling a car with gas, and they're like, he's a nice guy. And there are multiple episodes like that, and I think for me, it drags out the story way too much. It is a phenomenal story, but why ruin it by making these pointless episodes so long, or even making the pointless episodes? They don't really matter to the story because we know Tenma's a nice guy. All right, it's not like this plot with Johan is progressing any. It's not like the plot with his sister's progressing any. It's not even like the plot with Tenma's progressing. We've been known he's a nice guy. He's been a nice guy since episode 1. That's not going to change. So I don't really understand why they made so many episodes like that. Also, it struggles from something a lot of like 90s anime struggle from, which is weird because it came out in the 2000s. There's like no noise in the show at all. Like half the time it's just them talking, and if they're not talking, it's like silence. And that's like, honestly, for a lot of people, to me, that doesn't really matter, but I think to a lot of people that also turns them off from it because it's very quiet. It's a very quiet show. I think Monster would benefit the most, and God of High School. Honestly, all these would benefit quite heavily from a remake. I think they all honestly need one. The honorable mentions that I mentioned earlier are just for like animation stuff. Like, it'd be cool to see Naruto with really great animation, you know? And even the animation from then is still good, right? But it's like, it'd be nice to see what they could do with the current stuff. That's all I'm saying for the honorable mentions. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe. I know it's a little bit of a shorter one, but I thought I'd have more to yap about, and I really didn't. So if you enjoyed this, again, leave a like, subscribe, and let me know what anime you want to see be remade. I know there's a lot of them that maybe I haven't seen. Like, I heard Claymore is an awful adaptation. I heard Deadman Wonderland is not a good adaptation as well. You know, there's many different cases of this. Tokyo Ghoul as well. So let me know what you guys want to see get remade that you think deserves a remake, because there's a lot of options, honestly. Some studios just do not know how to handle these stories, and they think they're making an original. I don't get it, but if you have any strong opinions about this, let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again. Peace.